Yo guys, what's going on? This is Yorkiemann here, and today we're going to talk about something a little bit different on the channel. Now, I've held off on this kind of content for a little while, but I'm going to give my opinions now on PES 2022. Now, I get asked a lot over on the stream on Twitch at Yorkiemann, Twitter's at Yorkiemann. All the links will be down below in the description. And also, if you are new around here, boys, we are on the road to 1K, and we're very, very close. Very, very, very close. Someone is going to get to be the 1,000th subscriber, but don't let that hold you back. Hit the sub button now. But today we're going to be talking about PES 2022, mainly Master League. And more than anything, this is not a wish list for me. I probably will do a wish list down the line, but we're going to be talking today about what I expect to be improved on PES 2022. Now, this is a website that gives you some information on PES 2022 and their probably expectations and some of the stuff that's been released already. We already know a few of the new team licenses, which makes me instantly want to do Italy for the start of PES 2022. We've toyed around with the idea, but I think we will be doing the Italian League. No team's been decided yet. A few teams have been floated around, but I think at the end of the day, considering it's going to be licensed, and I think modding will take more time this year. This is one thing I do know of. I imagine modding will take more time. We have a new game engine, and that's probably the biggest thing that comes with PES 2022 and comes out of this, is the fact that it's going to be on a new game engine, which could absolutely change the scope of PES and the future of it. Because for me, PES has been a game that if you mod is certainly growing and is up there with FIFA. It just needs some minor improvements, and it can certainly start to have an impact as well on FIFA. We've seen it now with the Italian League. If you do play FIFA, you got Piemonte, Calcio, Roma's not licensed anymore, and neither will Napoli be, or Atalanta, I believe, in next year's game. So that is massive, but not as massive as the new engine. And one of the things that is irritating is I think PES does still look very pretty, and I quite like the graphics, unless it's players that don't have a face. That's one thing that has to be improved. If a player doesn't have a face, you've got to have a better generic face than what they've got. Mate, Patrick Bamford this year looked absolutely nothing like he does in real life. Not even close. Some of the faces on that Leeds team were absolutely shocking. And I know some of the regen faces, well, not regen faces, but some of the fake faces are not good whatsoever. They need improving. Just come up with some good stock generic faces. I think that will improve people's want to play the game, because your big issue at the moment is people hate these faces that much, and things that are aesthetic do definitely cater into you wanting to play this game. I know a lot of us play it because we prefer the gameplay, but for a lot of people, they turn on the game, they don't see the faces, they don't see the licenses, and they go, I don't want to play PES. And that's something I think that they're doing really well to try and improve, like with the Italian League and certain other leagues. But they need to improve those stock faces. The stock faces at the moment, they're not good. Also, something that massively needs to be improved, in my opinion, moving into the new Unreal Engine. Now, I know there'll be some teething problems. I'm not expecting there to be none whatsoever. But please, 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 Konami, improve collisions. Improve the referee. The referee is one of the biggest issues on PES. I find some of the free kicks that get given are absolutely ridiculous, and that's something that needs to be improved. And just, I think, more than anything, the collisions. I think the AI collisions and the individual player collision technology just isn't quite good enough on the current engine, and the game doesn't seem to understand certain stuff. We've seen it with player runs. I think people have noticed, especially as the data packs go on, that player runs have been really bad. I'm lucky I use a gameplay mod, which certainly helps that. It doesn't make it perfect, but it certainly helps that. I'd love to see more smarter AI in terms of the opposition and me as well. I'd like my players to make more realistic runs. Now, one thing that they do really well is fluid formations. I love that. I think it's a good addition to the game. Although I don't use them that much, I still think it's a good addition. Now, what would be nice is if there was some kind of player knowledge between each other. Now, we see it in Football Manager. The more and more a player plays with someone and they play well together, the better knowledge they have of playing with each other, which means they play better because they form these bonds. I'd love to see that come into PES. Now, I'm not sure that that would come in this year, but I would love to see something like that. They do already have the form, which I actually quite like, although it can be a little bit finicky and sometimes players aren't up for games that you can't understand that they're not up for. But I would like to see something there where players make better runs when playing with with certain players because they're used to playing with them. So they know, like we do now in the league save, if I pass to Smith Rowe, he's got the ability to pass it out wide at a good distance, so those wingers will run in behind because they're used to playing with Smith Rowe. It's just something I'd like to see. It's more than anything just better AI. We need to see better AI and better collision technology in the current games coming, well, not in the current game, in the current game coming up, in order for it to be an improved experience, because PES can get a little bit frustrating at times, and especially when you're finding these problems. Strength, again, another issue, a little bit too strong on this year's game. Personally, for me as well, if I have a strong player up top, it's very easy for me to hold up the ball, and then the defender doesn't really have any route in which to take the ball back that doesn't end in a foul or me moving the ball on. I would like to be able to tackle Aubameyang at least once or twice in a game, rather than just steamroll past me. As well as that, I think next year we probably do see some better streamlined animations, and just animations in general. I think we'll see some newer celebrations. I'd like some more celebrations. I think they're a little bit short on the celebration front, and just all around some better animations, but I think that will come with this new engine. I think this new engine is really going to help take it up to the next level, because for me, gameplay is the best on PES. It's much more of a realistic feeling. I feel like when I'm doing a Master League, games that I play feel different every time I play it, and the way I win and the way the AI plays against me feels different. I'm hoping they improve that, especially with the stock formations. We've run into this problem where we do end up playing against three at the back a lot. We do end up playing against defensive sides a lot. I'd like to see different teams play a little bit differently. I know there's Clashman's tactics that you can get, but I would like to see that just a staple of Konami, that the AI is smarter and maybe even learns about your tactic over time and tries to counteract it with a different formation. I know now if I play Leicester, they play three at the back. If I play Chelsea, they play three at the back. That formation doesn't change throughout the season and doesn't change no matter who they sign. I would like to see the AI get a little bit smarter with that. It would certainly enhance the experience with Master League. Again, when I talk about this, a lot of it's going to be the match engine stuff and Master League, because that's what I play. I haven't really played my club. I do look into playing it next year. My problem is Fuma's where it's at for me now on PES. I have loved Fuma, and I don't really think you can play Fuma online. TrueBits tried it, and it looked like it was a painful experience. I'm not sure that Fuma online is going to become a thing. Now that we have the glasses on, it does come down to this situation that we have with Master League. Now, Master League is a little bit bare bones. Let's be honest. It's the same animations over and over again in terms of cutscenes. They're not bad, but they don't add anything to the game, especially the press conference stuff. For me, I'd like to see that scrapped. Unless you're going to expand on it, just scrap it. It doesn't need to be there. It's more of a hindrance as seasons go on. What we do need to see now is a diverse youth system in Master League. They have to make this decision to make long-term Master Leagues more enjoyable. We're doing leagues now. I'm in Season 5, and we can't really touch the youth academy, and opposition teams have regenerated players that are just old players reused. We need a youth system. I don't know how they figure it out, but it should be pretty simple in terms of a youth academy just generating generic players over and over again. It'd be nice to see something like that. They don't have to go that in depth into having a scouting system just yet in order to bring in youth players. I understand that it's going to be something that needs to progress over time of the game being out, but they certainly need to have regens nailed down. The fact that the regens are just old used players really does hamper people wanting to do long-term Master League saves. PES thrives itself on realism on the pitch, but unfortunately off the pitch in terms of Master League, in that sense, it's not realistic whatsoever, and that's a little bit frustrating. I'd also like to have more control over a player's potential. We don't have dynamic potential. I know that's a FIFA thing, but I would like to see more variant in potential. If I use a player, he plays brilliantly, I'd like to see him improve more. I think a lot of people who play Master League would be exactly the same. I think something that they can implement in PES 22 quite comfortably is just have a variant of what a potential can be reached, instead of it being like this guy is going to reach 80 or that is it, that is all he can reach. I mean, he can reach 80, but if you use him a lot, he might be able to reach 85. There just need to be a variant in potential, and a variant in a lot of players' potential where they're a young player, and if they get good game time early on, we can see them progress more than usual. That doesn't mean they're going to become a superstar or be a wonder kid, but they're going to progress more than they normally would do. I find with potential on PES, it's very difficult to grow players that aren't already designed to grow really well. Of course, we need an update to the menus. A new engine, Unreal 5, surely means that we get some updated menus. They are pretty slick, but if you're new to PES, they're very confusing, and I certainly think you can go a lot more in depth with your players as well that I didn't realize until quite far into PES this year, would be nice for them to streamline that a little bit better. And just to clear up the menus a little bit. Searching for players can be a little bit iffy. Searching through the menus as well when it comes to transfers could be the same. And also, when it comes to transfers, I would like a complete new system. You should be able to put whatever price you want for a player. There should be the market value as there is already. I know that the prices market value-wise are a little bit... well, they're not very correct, but I'm okay with that. What my biggest problem is negotiating's a bit of a ball ache, and then you've also got this added problem that every single player wants a release clause, and the release clauses are just, they're not realistic whatsoever. The release clauses are very stupid, so I'd like to see that change. The whole new negotiation system is what I would like to see, and I think that's something that needs to change. It's been this way now for quite a few PESs. It'd be nice to see a new negotiation system moving forward. I think that's something they have to do as well. I think they need to improve Master League a lot. I think the community is crying out for more Master League content. I've noticed that over this year, there's more content creators making Master League series. There's more people bringing the mods to the spotlight, so on and so forth. You know, we're seeing more Master Leagues out there. Let's have a massive improvement, and that'll give a huge boost to everyone that does a Master League next year, and probably bring more players into it. I think when you only do an update, it does put this pressure on you that the new game has to be, you know, a million times better than what we've seen in the past. And I don't think that's fair. It's the first game we're going to see in this new engine. I am expecting there to be teething problems. I'm expecting there to be problems, but there are certain stuff, especially when it comes to menus and systems, that really could do with improving. And I think when it comes to Master League, there's stuff like that that we really all want to see. PES this year has been really frustrating for me in the lead save. The long-term save is where I've only noticed this. But we just didn't get any more money. We're in the Premiership, and I think we had the same budget until we hit Europa League. And then still, I've never been given more than the 20+ million mark in a transfer window. Now, it may sound greedy, but we're in the Premiership. You're talking 80, 90 million coming in a season. I'd like there to be a bank balance, maybe to some degree, or just some breakdown of the finances, so I know why I'm getting so much and why I'm not getting so much. You know, how much salary am I spending per season? And that's the reason why I'm not getting this much transfer budget. It'd be nice to see some kind of allocation or some breakdown, because there's certainly been times as well where I've not had the salary budget but a load of transfer budget. I'd like to be able to swap that, so hopefully they can implement some stuff in there with the finances. It'd be nice to see. Anyway, boys, that's going to be it for this one. I just wanted to talk quickly and bring to your attention some stuff that I think most likely will be in the next PES. I could be completely wrong. I could be wildly wrong, but I think some of these things could be coming into the game, and I think it needs that now. I think this could be a real big year for PES. Next gen, they've got this opportunity. I really do hope that they look after the PC side of PES as well. Surely Konami understand that we actually play a hell of a lot on PC. I imagine that there's a huge player base on PlayStation and on PC. I don't know what they'll do with Xbox. If it can be modded this time round, would be impressive. It would bring that new player base in that does have an Xbox, but yeah, I'm hoping that they look after us PC players. Knowing that certain games aren't going to do next gen at launch on PC is very frustrating, being a PC guy, and the fact that I've probably got a PC that would absolutely blast a PlayStation 5 and a Xbox out of the water is very frustrating not to get next gen. So I'm hoping they look after us PC players. But let me know down below what you think is realistically going to happen with PES this year. We will make a wish list where I talk about things that are maybe a little bit further out there that I want, but we'll do that a little bit closer to the time of PES 2022 when we have a little bit more information on it. Thank you very much for watching, boys. If you are new around here, please hit subscribe. I appreciate all the support as per usual. There will be some usual PES Master League on the channel coming very, very soon. Thank you. Take it easy, and I'll see you in the next one.